Happy Friday after Christmas here. I want to talk about dealing with failure and big mistakes when you make them. We all make them. In fact, success is not the lack of failure, contrary to popular opinion. Some people seem to think that success is the absence of failure. That is the furthest thing from the truth. Success is multiple failures and successes stacked over time to reach a goal, and it has nothing to do with no failure. What defines you is how you deal with failure and big mistakes. And our natural inclination as humans is to try to defend ourselves, make up for it, and even sometimes go into the feeling of the failure to define who we are. And this is the most damaging type of response to this is when you make a mistake, you go into the mistake and feel the ramifications of it. In fact, doing that will almost guarantee further failure for you to go deeper in to feel the pain of your mistake. And this is what a lot of people do because they feel like, well, if I don't feel that, then I didn't learn from my mistake. No, the moment that you learn from the mistake is when you stop feeling that level of failure. And you don't allow that failure to define you. You say, you know what? I made a mistake. I'm going to consciously own up to it. I'm not going to defend myself and try to defend how I look to other people. I'm going to say, you know what? Yeah, I sucked. I made a mistake. Now let's move forward. And that might not be good enough for some people, but that's not your responsibility to make sure that you act in a certain way that other people respond to you enough to give you love and connection. And this is where a lot of people miss it, is they're trying to control other people so they act in a way when they make a mistake to get, oh, it's not so bad, or, oh, get a pat on the back from other people. And that's absolute selfishness. That's absolute failure to even own up to your mistake because somebody else is giving you permission to keep moving forward when you make a mistake. And you're looking for that validation from other people that even though you made a mistake, you can keep going forward. And I see people do this constantly. I have clients, they're either worried about, the failure they made a mistake in their past, or they're comparing a situation from their childhood, or they're worried about being an inconvenience to people, or people removing them from a project, or what their friends or family might think, or the media, whatever, yada, yada, yada. There's guilt and shame that comes in from this because we're allowing our environment to dictate our emotions. And you have to stop that. You have to take ownership over the mistake that you made. You have to stop trying to get validation from other people that you're okay after you made the mistake. You see, I'm not saying make a mistake and be an asshole and say, listen, I'm just going to make a mistake and who cares who it affects. That's not what I'm talking about, my friends. What I'm talking about is making a mistake and being okay with it to learn from and say, listen, I screwed up, and owning up to the fact that you screwed up and then moving forward and not sitting in the screw up. You see, we flip between these two. Either I'm going to be an asshole to people, or I'm going to sit in my screw up and complain that I'm not moving forward, or I'm going to try to now overcompensate to get up validation from other people. My friends, I'm guilty of this, and I've done this for so long, my whole life. And it's not being a powerful person because it's giving up the control of your future to the validation or opinions of other people. And then when you finally get sick of it, you just start being a jerk to everybody because you're not really owning up to who you are, what your goals are, what your choices are, and you're giving up the authority of your choices and your future to other people's validation for you. So you have to act in this framework that never takes responsibility for anything that you do. How you deal with failure defines your success. How you deal with big mistakes you make defines your success. The worst possible thing you can do is sit and wallow in the sorrow of your mistake. It helps nobody except for yourself, and it's the most selfish thing that you can do. It is the most selfish position to be in, to wallow in the sorrows of your mistake. And you might say, how is that selfish? I'm owning up to it. I'm making myself lower than other people. No, what that is making yourself lower so other people are the ones who are responsible for raising you up, because then you believe that you can control other people and other people have the ability to control you. Stop it. Seriously. You make a mistake, say, I'm going to do better next time, and then move on. And that takes 3 seconds. That's it. Say, I'm sorry. I'm going to own up to this. I'm sorry for being a jerk. I'm sorry for doing this thing. Own up to it and move on. And you know who taught me this? My wife did. She taught me that I was in this chronic habit of wallowing in the sorrows of my mistake, because I was trying to control her to validate me that I was okay after I made mistakes. And I did this to everybody around me my whole life. It doesn't help anybody, and it definitely doesn't help you, but it's a selfish position. You have to own up to the mistake. You have to say, I'm going to fix it. I'm going to do better next time, and then go forward and stop giving credence and mental energy to that mistake. Leave it in the past and move forward. That's how you deal with failure and big mistakes, whatever it is, anything. And I bet maybe right now, as I'm saying this, you're coming up with reasons that that's just not possible for you, because you've been so stuck in this mental state of how it feels when you make a mistake, and it makes you feel good. It triggers those hormones in you. It's like a drug, and you get addicted to that feeling of wallowing in the sorrow of your mistake, that you never move forward because you refuse to take ownership over the choices and the actions of your life. And you refuse to say, listen, yeah, I made a mistake, and you want to blame somebody else for it and never own up to that fact. Stop it. How you deal with a mistake defines the success. You say, I made a mistake. I'm going to do better next time and move forward. And that takes 3 seconds. That's it. Any longer than that is a waste of your time and other people's. So I want to encourage you today, whatever you're feeling, to reach a success, you're going to make mistakes. You have to stop being so perfectionistic about mistakes. And if anybody is successful or makes $1 million, whatever, and tells you they did it by perfection, they are the most miserable person on the planet. And maybe you believe that to be successful, you have to be a miserable person, because that's what you've seen presented to you. I'm here to tell you that that's a lie, and you don't want to be like that. And a lot of people then choose, well, if I've got to be miserable to be successful, I'm going to stay right where I'm at and never move forward. And that is a lie. There's so many lies around this mistake thing. Every successful person has gotten there by making mistakes, learning from them, saying, I'm going to do better next time, and then keep moving forward and not giving 1 second to the feeling of the mistake, not giving 1 moment to sitting in it, not giving a single moment to feel the emotion of the mistake. By the way, not feeling the emotion is not the lack of ownership of it. You don't have to feel that sorrow and that beating yourself up for mistakes to own up to it. That's a lie that maybe you were taught growing up. Stop it. And then keep moving forward, my friends. This is what I'm saying. I'm trying to point out. I said like 3-4 times in this video, stop it. If you've been doing something, just stop it. Don't feel the feeling of the mistake you've been making. Keep moving forward. Own up to the mistakes. Stack your experiences. Learn over time. And when you do that, nothing is impossible. Grow your life, everybody, and we'll talk soon.